So I got a few people asking me about the Facebook ad metrics I use, more specifically the Facebook columns I use. So I wasn't exactly sure what to title this to make sure it gets the most views, but also to still providing the correct value. So today we're gonna be kind of going over the columns, the metrics and stuff like that I look at inside of a Facebook ads manager. So we can see right here, I have this one campaign set up in this particular account. It's been like $1,200 a day over the last 7 days, 6.3x ROAS. You know, had to kind of flex that real quick for a second. But we'll see how these columns are set up. So obviously I have like my budget. I think that's pretty like default right there. Amount spent, purchases, cost per purchase. Like a lot of this is already default stuff you guys typically look at, but just kind of diving into kind of showing y'all how I use some of these things. So cost per purchase is my like golden rule right there, because that's customers I am acquiring with Facebook. So that's what allows me to really see like, okay, are we crushing it or not? ROAS is cool, but it doesn't tell me the full story. So that's why I like looking at CPA or cost per purchase. It gives me a better understanding, because as I run my numbers, I'll dial in a certain CPA, and then I'm pretty much just looking at CPA and spend, because $5,000 spend and a $14 cost per purchase is pretty damn good for this account. But $5,000 to spend on a 6.33 ROAS does not mean anything for me. That doesn't tell me anything from a P&L perspective right there. So these are some of like the loose stuff I follow. End of the day, CPA is all I give a fuck about, and spend. That's where I make all my decisions, whether to turn something off, turn something on, scale something, or whatever. Everything else that I look at is going to be completely things that I just simply look at and take with a grain of salt. So let's start going through some of these other things. So obviously you can see right here, this is where frequency starts. So I just kind of took a screenshot of me scrolling through the rest. Also to reach literally does not do anything for me. Like I literally do not like, I look at reach and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll move on. Doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't tell me anything. Then there's frequency, and frequency is probably like the second metric I look at. Like you got spend, CPA, frequency. That's like my 3 highest traits or metrics I look at. Now for frequency, there's still some level of I don't really give a fuck when it comes down to frequency. The biggest thing I'm looking at frequency is the last 7 days, and I'm looking at the highest spending ad. I just have the campaign selected for the screenshot because I don't want to show you all the ads, because this account I'm on NDA. Yeah, long story short. So, but look, frequency, last 7 days, I like to look at the highest spending ad in that campaign. So I'll just click on ads for one campaign. I will not select ad sets for one campaign. And frequency on that highest spending ad, ideally I want as close as possible to 1.0. Now, well, Nick, my ad's a 2.3. What should I do? Well, I don't care as long as it's hitting the CPA goal I need. But frequency for me is basically telling me how many new people we're acquiring in the business versus how many people we're just kind of re-hitting over and over and over. And depending on the ad I create with the desire, the market awareness, the number of people that resonate with that ad, that'll control the flow of how many people that frequency will climb up pretty fast or not. And for me, it's ideally I want as close as possible 1.0. So if I'm trying to scale and force spin in this campaign to increase performance and, you know, all that good stuff right there, I'm realistically looking at frequency as more of a kind of a measure real quick. So like, for example, this campaign is at a, you know, $1,200 a day in spend, and we're already kind of approaching a 2x frequency. So I know that, hey, we need more ads that appeal to more people. Now we're hitting the CPA goal, which is good. So for me, my next perspective here is, okay, well, we're hitting our CPA goal, frequency's up. So that just means that, hey, we're going to start soon hitting a wall where our ads are hitting the same people, and we need new ads to appeal to more people. It's not creative fatigue. We don't need to turn off the ads. It's just simply we need ads that reach more people. Our current ads are resonating with this many people. I need ads that resonate with this many people now. That's not creative fatigue. It's just simply creative limitations. So that's the next thing I like to look at. Now CPM, again, I don't give a fuck about it. I see so many people, Nick, I'm getting $100 CPM. I'm like, so? And I do not care. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, there's nothing you can do to go fix CPM in your account. And then I see people, Nick, I created 5 ad accounts, then I got CPM and it's really high on all of them. I'm like, and what are you going to do about it? Cry about it on YouTube? Cry about it in the comments? Or actually just ignore it like I do, and I focus on the creative, right? So CPM being high can also be a good thing. Why? Because CPM just means that your audience you are targeting is really expensive. More expensive audience, depending on the product, is a really good thing because you're targeting more targeted people. Yes, you are doing broad targeting. Yes, we are not including interests or lookalikes or anything like that. It just means our creatives are hitting a more targeted audience there. And if it's converting, cool. I do not care. I do not look at that. I don't use that as a metric to judge the success or failure of this campaign. And that's the same thing I do with cost per click. I do not use cost per click to judge the success or failure of a campaign or an ad creative. Again, CPA is everything. You know why I have these metrics right here? I literally have these metrics literally just to kind of fill space on the screen. That's about it. That's literally all I have that. Like, these are metrics that you just like, you know, it's like your car, right? Like, literally the only gauge you look at is the gas gauge and like your speedometer, right? And other than that, all these other little gauges in your car, they're important. But when you ever look at them and focus on them, like maybe when the battery thing is like red flagging you, which might be once every couple of years, to be fair. But for the most part, none of this gives me actionable data. Even like CPM right here. So like CPM, the only thing that gives me actionable data based off CPM is, oh, okay, CPMs are shooting through the roof this week. Again, this is if we've been advertising for an account for a while, we have a very stable CPM, then CPM shoot up really high all of a sudden. All that gives me is, hey, there's more competition in the marketplace. I shouldn't put too much pressure on myself right now that I need to go fire up new campaigns and stuff like that. Just, hey, it's a gauge for how much competition there is in the marketplace right now. So what should I be doing is continuing to do what I already do. New creatives, be a better marketer, improve your creative, improve your landing page, improve your offer. And I'm already doing that regardless if CPM is up or down. I'm already doing that regardless if performance is up or down because I always want to be proactive. So I don't care. It gives me no actionable data. CTR. Yes, if you have a high CPM, that means you're going to reach less people. If you reach less people and more people, and like let's say you reach 10 people because you have $1,000 CPM and one person clicks, you already have a 10% click-through rate. Let's say you reach 1,000 people or 10 people, or 10 people click on your ad and you reach 10,000 people for like literally $3 because you have a really low CPM. You have a really low CTR. The only difference here is the CPM because of the number of people you reached. Again, doesn't really give me any gauge. Healthy ratio though here is on average looking more at about a 1%. Again, doesn't give me actionable data though. Why? Because I've seen ads literally with a 0.67% CTR crush and destroy ads that were getting like a 3x, 4x, click-through rate. Why? Because those ads with the low click-through rate was getting my ideal targeted audience to my website, whereas like the ads with a really high CTR or the ads that were getting the wrong people to click on the ad. If you want a high CTR, just go put any opposite sex, depending on who you're targeting. If you're targeting men, put a girl. If you targeting women, put a guy that's like in very revealing clothing. You get a super high CTR, but you're gonna get the wrong people clicking on the ad. So CTR still does not give me the full, oh, this is what I need to do. This is an actionable state. Now CPC, same thing. This is going to be reflective based off CPM. I've seen amazingly low CPC. Like if you want a really low cost per click, go target India. You get like a 2-cent click, but why don't you? Because you know the traffic isn't as good as like USA, for example. So because of that, we can't prioritize a low CPC. Unique outbound clicks, that's to be a byproduct of cost per click. And then scroll stop, this one's a decent one right here to look at because it'll tell me just like the percentage of people that basically like stop the scroll. And I'll show you guys in a second too of how like you actually get that scroll stop right there. And then same thing for hold rate, just the percentage of people that actually stay and watch the remaining of the video. Now, as I mentioned earlier, is that this is my primary metric, spend and CPA. This is literally all I care about. And then like, I'll take consideration of frequency. That's it. Now, what does these metrics help me do? These metrics help me understand why something worked or why something failed. Let's say I launched a new ad and this new ad has an extremely low cost per click. CTR. like the campaign average, this campaign average is 3.22%. So anything below a 3.2 is low. Anything above 3.22 is high. That's also another mistake people make. They compare these metrics to like their buddy or whatever. You want to compare these metrics to your account average. The account average here is a 3.22 or not account average, your campaign average. Campaign average for this is 3.22 for the CTR. Same thing for all of this stuff. So I'm gonna compare my ad to the campaign average. Do not compare it to your buddies. Do not compare it to a different country. Do not compare it to another niche. Don't compare it to anything else other than your campaign average. So in this example right here, let's say we launch an ad and it gets a 0.5 click-through rate and it's just really sucking. Well, for me, because it's sucking really bad on the cost per purchase and I see that it's getting a 0.5 CTR, I get to understand now why it's getting such a bad cost per purchase, and that is because it's really bad at grabbing attention. Same thing when it comes down to scroll, stop, and hold rate. Let's say, for example, we launch an ad. It does really terrible. This campaign has an average of 22% scroll stop. Anything below 22% is bad. Anything above 22% is good. Again, for my campaign average. If you want averages that are good, compare it to your campaign, because anything above this is good. Anything below that is bad for your particular campaign. Don't compare to everyone else. So in this example right here, above 22% scroll stop is good. So let's say we find a new winning ad. It's crushing. You know, we're averaging a $14 cost per purchase for this campaign right now. What happens if we get down to a $10 cost per purchase? It's scaling and we see the scroll stop like 40%. Then we understand that that particular scroll stop right there is really good. And we should take a look at what we did there and try to reflect that. Not copy it over and over and over and over and over for every other creative we do now, but what were the key things we did in that, and how can we kind of create a template to use for future creatives that have the same kind of style and how we came up with that scroll stop right there. Same thing for hold rate. Maybe it's above average, just means we were like a little bit better at storytelling in that ad versus like maybe other ads. It's a little bit lower, then maybe a little bit worse at storytelling in that ad right there. But everything starts off with cost per purchase. If cost per purchase was amazing, then I look at these metrics to help me tell me why. If cost per purchase was terrible, then I look at these metrics to help me tell me why. That's how I use these metrics to scale. Now, as promised, because we're pretty much finishing up here, as promised, here's how you can create those custom metrics of scroll stop and hold rate. So basically just click on your little columns thing right here, customize columns, then create custom metric. And then here's how you can get the scroll stop metric. You do 3-second video plays divided by impressions. Very simple. And you just have to make sure you click on the little like percentage thing to make sure it turns into a percentage. And then here's how you get hold rate. Just through plays divided by impressions. And that's how you're going to get your hold rate. And these are the exact Facebook ad metrics I use to scale. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you're doing over $100,000 a month in revenue with your Shopify store, click link below to have Nick Theriot run your ads. We've helped multiple brands now to scale to multiple 7 figures a month, and we'd love to help you become the next one. Now, if you're doing less than 100K a month, then click the link below to have Nick Theriot mentor you, or we'll hop on one-on-one calls together, group calls, review your ad account, review your creatives, give you ad ideas and stuff like that. All of those good things to help you succeed in your business. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Nick Theriot. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.